Okay, this is another little video I'm gonna do in between my bowl making videos. I did that little tray last week, had the raised edge cut on it that raised it up. And I had two raised rings that came up, made the tray. It was a very pretty little tray. My wife really loves it. I did that at her request. So I'm looking through those patterns. It's another Steve Good pattern. Now I'll put a link to it down there. But this, he calls this a party tray. And I did it because I had enough of that same board left, and that was a real nice piece of wood to use for a tray. It turned out really nice. So you can see what you got there. This, we're going to do this the same way. This is going to sink down in this piece. And then I got a little bit of fretwork there, a little decorative place. Then you got this hole with that slot. And what that's intended for is you can take like a wine glass or any kind of a glass with a stem in it and set it in there, and you can carry this tray around. He calls it a party tray. You can have your chips here and a drink there or whatever. It's reminiscent of this kind of American version of what they call a tea and biscuit tray in the UK, where they can set a cup of tea on that and have a spot for your snacks, or cookies, or as we call them. They call them biscuits. But anyway, I'm going to take this over to the saw. And another reason I did this is because I've already done the experiments on the angle to use to get the relief I want. And so first I'm going to cut out these, and then I'll come in here and cut those out. I'm going to use a number 5 blade on all of it. And then this is part of the outline, and I'll cut the whole thing out of the board at once. But first I'm going to cut these with no angle, then I'll do the angle cut on that, then cut the outline. So and I think once I get that in place, I may have to do a little light sanding, put a little finish on it. It'll look just as nice as the other tray. So let me get over and get me a new blade in the saw, and we'll get started on it. Okay, according to Steve Good, and with his pattern, he said you wanted this to stick up about half of the width of the wood. So based on my 3 test cuts, 2 degrees is not quite half of it. 2.5 is a little more. So I got it set at about 2.25, 2.3, somewhere in there. And now is also the time you got to think which direction you'll cut, which way you want that bevel to go. Well, I want the bevel to be outward on the bottom of this inner cut. So looking at it as right now, I'm headed in the wrong direction. So I need to turn around, because this is the upper side. So I need to turn around like this and cut around, and that'll make, because the table's tilted down to the left, that'll make the bottom of that cut outward. Okay, well, I don't want it to do that. I want it to go the other way. I want that to go downward. You have to be thinking about what you want to do. So I want this piece to go down and this piece to come up. So I don't want it to fall out the bottom, so the bottom's got to be smaller than the top. And that's what's going to be when I cut this direction. Okay, I got that finished. Got one coat of finish on it. Looks pretty good. I have discovered cutting this the second time from the smell that it is a walnut. It's a very light colored walnut, so I didn't catch that that's what it was, but it definitely smells like walnut. Seems to be a little bit harder in some places, a little softer in others. It's kind of a strange piece of wood. But anyway, this glass is here to demonstrate how you're supposed to use this. You can carry your chips or whatever you're eating, whatever you're snacking on right there, and then you got your drink with you. And you always have a hand free to either drink or eat. And you can carry it around with you, you don't have to sit down. That's the concept behind this. It just slides out like that. Anyway, like I say, there's lots of, I didn't look it up, my wife did, so there's lots of examples online called, she had seen it, it's the reason she went and looked it up. It's called tea and biscuits. And that way you have, on the one she was looking at, you just had a place where you set a coffee or a teacup on it, and you had a little spot for your cookies, or as we call them, they call them biscuits. But anyway, that's a nice short little project. I wanted to use up the rest of that board. It looks really nice when it's finished. And this fitted exactly. You say when I was cutting it, I was having trouble cutting in here because it was precisely the length of this pattern. So I had to finish that off a little bit on the sander to get it down to the pattern lines. It's going to need another coat of finish probably. I may have to sand it and check some places, but it looks pretty good. And I thought we might add this to our other little tray. She wanted a tray, and so this was unique. I'd never seen anything like this before. So I thought I'd try it. If you like that, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see. You never know what I'm going to make. I've been making a bunch of bowls, and I got more bowls to make. But I enjoy doing all kinds of projects, and I like things more complex as I'm getting better at it after 20 years. Well, it's not that long, but I've been doing this for several years, but it's just been kind of a pastime. I'm spending more time with it now, and I'm gaining in some skills. And if you want to watch me grow, I'm too old to grow much except sideways, but still I'll grow some. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and hope to see you in the next video.